As promised, I said I would continue talking about this. The reason I want to continue talking about this is because I didn't have a chance to talk about whether or not this was a function. This happens to be a function because if you look at it, the x's have exactly one arrow coming off of them. That's one way you can tell it's a function, is by the number of arrows coming off each of the x value. There's only one, so this is a function. The other thing you can do is look at a graph and what we call a vertical line test. And with our vertical line test, we would just draw a vertical line straight up and down. And as long as we only have a single point that passes through each vertical line, it is considered to be a function. So I'll continue to talk about the vertical line test as we continue through the notes. Let's do one more example like this. Let's see if you guys can create a table, a mapping diagram, and then graph the function. So pause it, go ahead and try that out, see if you can come up with the answer. Okay, you should have put your domain over here and your range over here. We have just 4 1/2, 4 1/4, 4 0, and we have 4 3/4. So we only have one domain value. That's the only thing that's going to come over here and be in our mapping diagram for the domain. Over here, the range, we're going to list them from least to greatest. So 0, 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. Now if you look, 4 is matched up with each one of these. Immediately, you should remember from the last one that this would be considered not a function. It's not a function because there's more than one arrow coming off of the 4. The last thing I want you to do is graph this, and I did not have a graph already on my screen because these numbers were so close together. So I'm actually going to put 1 way up here so you can see it a little bit better. I've got 4 0 to graph, 4 1/4, 4 1/2, and 4 3/4. Now if I try that vertical line test that I was talking about, drawing those vertical lines, you can see how it has many points. This vertical line has many points that pass through it. So this is another way that you can say that it's not a function. Looking at the next ones here, I'm going to list the domain and the range. All I'm asked to do is list the domain and range, so I'm going to just go ahead and write D, colon, and then we put those in brackets, and range, colon, put those in brackets. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all my X values so they stand out to me, so I can see which one's from least to greatest. So my smallest X value happens to be -2. My next smallest value happens to be -1. There's actually 2 of those, but we don't list them twice. And then my next highest value is 4. Again, there's 2 of those, but we don't list them twice. The range, let's go ahead and put those in green highlights again so we can see those more clearly. I have, for the range, the smallest value being -2. The next smallest value is 1, and there is 2 of those, but we only list them one time. And then the next value is 3, and there's 2 of those, but we only list it one time. Okay, if you have another one of those, why don't you try it on your own? Go ahead and push pause. Alright, back to this problem, the domain. Let's see what we have. I'll do those in yellow again. In order from least to greatest, it looks like we have 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. The range, we have to be 10, 20, 24, 25, and 26. Again, in order from least to greatest.